Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday. Hope everybody's ready to take on the week. Make this week your most productive week. Learn more this week than you've ever learned. Do more this week than you've ever done. Talk to more people, make more sales, shake more hands. Smile more, spend more time with your kids, work out. This is the week. We all like to put stuff off till Mondays. Maybe that's why we don't like Mondays so much. Because too often we say we'll start doing something we know is important on Monday. And then when Monday comes calling, we're like, damn it. I said I was going to do this on Monday. Now I'm stuck. But I had some thoughts this morning I wanted to share with you. And I go through this all the time. And whether it's a disagreement or an argument, or I was actually watching people supporting and watching their football team, and their football team made a mistake, and they were like, he sucks, that guy's terrible, trade him. And I was sitting there and I'm like, dang, one play? Good morning, David, what's up? One play and we're cutting a guy? One bad series and we're disowning the guy? And I realized we do that a lot in life, myself included. And I think that I've gotten better at it over the last 2 years, or probably 2 months, my wife would say. But things happen. People cut us off in traffic. Things are said at the office that we don't necessarily agree with. Our spouse or significant other might say something or do something that upsets us. And in that moment, we're emotional. And then we do something or we respond in an emotional way. And sometimes that response is a decision, the way that we, respond sometimes or say something to somebody we can't take back. We can take back the words, but we can't take back the way it made that person feel. And if you need any proof of that, just think about any argument you've ever had and you said something in an emotional state because you were, upset or hurt, and then apologized for it later. And then months and months down the road, somehow it comes up again. Well, why do you think that is? It's because the things that we said when we were emotional, we say them different. When we're emotional, we say them with more passion. We say them with more meaning. We might say them mean. We might say them in a hurtful way. So even if we're, not saying something that should be life-changing, or we're not really, responding in a hurtful way, the way that we say it could mean way more, right? And it's not up to us how it impacts people. It's up to the people that we respond with. So here's just something I've learned that I really focus on is when something is said to me or something happens to me or something happens around me and it makes me emotional. I'm either mad, disappointed, sad, frustrated. It's important that you don't respond or you don't say something that is fueled by that emotion. So how do you do that? Right? That's the magical question. So someone says something to me, I'm mad. How do I not respond in a mad way? How do I not, exchange an eye for an eye? The only way I've found to be able to do it is to take the whatever you're feeling and just let it sink in for a second and say, you know what, that made me mad. But your goal should not be to make the other person mad, or your goal should not be to win that conversation or hurt that person, more than they hurt you. Your goal should be to get to a good place, get to a place to where emotion is no longer involved and we feel good about that other person, or we feel good about that department of work, or we feel good about our boss, or we feel good about our employee. Who wants to live in a state of madness or anger or sad? And it's inevitable if you respond in an angry way that person's going to get angry. And then you're just both going to end up in an argument. So the only way to avoid responding to situations in an emotional way, particularly when we're talking about things that have lasting impact. Like, we see people every day at work. So if something happens and you respond in an emotional way and you cuss them out, or, you say something that's judgmental, or you say something that's, critical or maybe even hurtful to them, it's not going to go away at the end of the conversation. They're going to hold on to that for a very long time, if not forever. So don't make decisions or respond to situations emotionally, because even though it's in the moment, the things we say and the decisions that we make last forever. And we want to make decisions that last forever in a non-emotional state. So when something happens and it makes you mad, or it makes you sad, or it frustrates you, just count to 10. Why do you think they say count to 10? It's an old trick, but it works. Just count to 10 or count to 5 and say, you know what, that upset me. But in order for me to fix this situation, I can't be upset. So I'm not going to block out my feelings, but I'm going to let them, I'm going to sit them to the side for the sake of working through this challenge. And once you note those feelings, you acknowledge that it made you feel that way, but then you exclude it from the conversation moving forward. You're going to find that you move through issues much quicker. You don't extend conversations into arguments into disagreements, disagreements into grudges, grudges into severed ties or severed relationships or broken relationships that last forever. Even if you still communicate together and you're still friends, I'm telling you, when you say something in an emotional state, and we say it emotionally and we respond to get emotion out of and a response out of that person, it's going to stick with them. It's going to make it harder for people to get along. It's going to make it harder for you to be productive at work. So do not respond to situations in an emotional form. It's not conducive to a positive outcome. Acknowledge your emotions, sit them to the side, start with a clear mind that's focused on resolving the situation. Whether it was a breakdown in communication, or someone didn't do what they were supposed to do, or you let somebody down, or you said something that hurt my feelings, the only way to get that resolved is to focus on the desired outcome, which is to no longer be at odds with that person. And in order to do that, you have to set your emotions aside. Don't block them out. We're human beings. Like, it's one of the great things that we have is the ability to have feelings. But you cannot involve those feelings in a conversation that is supposed to result in a positive outcome. And the best way to do that is someone does something or says something that upsets you, makes you mad, lets you down, disappoints you. Just stop for even 5 seconds. So, you know what? That made me mad, but I'm not going to be mad. I have the choice to decide how I feel. They said what they said, but we make the choice about how we respond to it and how it makes us feel. So if it made you feel a way that is emotional and is not going to play a positive role in working forward, then we have to disconnect from those feelings. Let them sink in, acknowledge it, call it what it is. That hurt me, I feel wronged. However, when I respond, I'm going to set that to the side, and I want to focus on doing the right thing. I want to focus on getting to the finish line with this particular person or this group or this customer. And in order for me to get to the finish line where everybody wins, I know that I can't be upset. I can't allow this to make me mad. Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Kat. Mr. Berman, how are you? We doing lunch this week or what? I'll shoot you a text. I want to see if you want to come over and do some farmers market on Friday. It's one of my favorite things. I'd love to take you. So make sure that we don't make emotional responses to situations about long-term situations. We got to learn how to separate our feelings from our responses and allow our responses and our communication to be focused on getting across the finish line, remaining respectful, remaining professional, remaining productive, and we cannot do that if we're emotional. So just remember, don't respond to a situation if you're emotional. How do I become unemotional? I acknowledge my emotions. I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm frustrated. Say inside, I'm mad, I'm frustrated. Say it outside. Hey, you know what? I'm a little frustrated. Just give me a second to gather my thoughts, and I promise you we'll work through this. And then take 5 seconds or 10 seconds to yourself and allow those emotions to sink in. Let them be what they are, but they cannot be part of your mindset as you try and work through that situation. You gotta let your emotions sit to the side, not push them away. Don't forget about them, but just sit them on the coffee table, right? Sit them in the center console. Sit them to the side, because you can't be emotional if you're trying to work through a subjective situation where there is no real right or wrong, where we're just trying to get to a place to where everybody's on the same page and we can part ways as friends. All right? So use that as some Monday motivation. I hope everybody has a great start to their week. Don't be down about being Monday. Think about how great your weekend was, and then work hard and get a ton of productivity out of this week so that your weekend's even better next. All right? Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for the support. I'll see you.